Well, hello, DirtFish friends. It's almost the end of day 2 here at the Rally of Portugal. We're just outside the service park. You can see the entrance and exit just behind us there. Now, we still have one more stage to run this evening. It's a brand new stage. It's a beautiful stage, the Porto Foz stage. Little super special on cobbles down by the Douro River. What we're going to do before I bring David Evans in to have a look at the top 10. So Ogier and Evans leads going in to the final day of Rally de Portugal. Danny Sordo just behind 10.7 seconds. That is very much a catchable lead. Sebastian Ogier is in third place. Just behind him, Ogier and Katsuta. Adrian Formeau is in 5th. Gus Greensmith, after his issues today, is in 6th. In 7th, it's the first of our R5 cars. It's Esa-Pekka Lappi. Teemu Sunninen is in 8th. Mads Osberg is in 9th. And rounding out the top 10, it's Nikolai Gryazan. So that's our top 10 after stage 14, the second running of Amarante. And David, the surprise in that top 10 is Tänak. The day was looking interesting. The day looked mighty juicy, though, at the end of the last stage proper, Amarante. What happened to Tänak?
Oh, we don't know exactly what's happened to him. The one thing we do know is that he's not coming here in any kind of hurry, certainly not on time. Some right rear damage, remarkably similar to what we saw with Thierry, entirely coincidental as far as I could imagine. You know, it's not a failing in the suspension or anything on that corner of the car. But Amarante, like all of the stages today, really quite rough second time through. Lots of ruts, lots of rocks pulled out. He's clobbered one of those, and just, I mean, it was probably, as is always the case with these things, it's a small problem that becomes a big problem as the driver tries to keep the pace and keep cracking on. And we just saw essentially the right rear wheel just got worse and worse, and in the end it was jammed against the arc. Or wasn't jammed, it was kind of flapping about, wasn't it?
It was. And you know what was really disappointing from Tänak's point of view? Yesterday, he had a really good day, but I'd say he wasn't really struggling with the car, but he said nothing was coming naturally. That all changed. He put in a stunning time in the opening stage. It was close at the start of the day. He built that lead through the morning.
And when we saw him at lunchtime here, he looked a different driver, didn't he?
He really did.
He'd got the confidence. He'd got all of that. As he said, it was coming. It felt natural. And the first couple of corners this morning, bang, he was on it. And,
he really was.
You know, when Tänak gets that feeling, he's almost unstoppable.
You know, we saw him winning clearly in Croatia. Sorry, in
Finland.
We saw him winning in Finland. You know, it did look like he was driving towards another win here. This championship challenge might well have been back on the cards. It's a blow. It's a big blow for him in terms of the championship. And we have to talk about Toyota and the Manufacturers' Championship. It's a huge blow for them.
It's a huge blow for Tänak, you know, when you've had one DNF already, which he had in Monte Carlo, to have another one when you've only got 12 rounds. It's you know, that's a lot of points.
I don't think he's going to get a DNF. I think
he's not going to get a DNF.
But he's probably not going to score points in the top 10. He may well get points in the power stage tomorrow.
Yeah,
but
so
he's not going to score
essentially 5
points.
is the best that he can really look for. So, you know, essentially he's shipped 50 points potentially, hasn't he?
He has.
So yeah, it's difficult. And as you said, Toyota, obviously they've had an issue with Rovanperä. Again, we're not exactly sure what happened, in very quite strange circumstances where he arrived at the start of the stage. Obviously had some sort of warning, some sort of issue in the car, got on the radio to the team, and the team said, no, bring it back. I mean, we haven't seen that for a long time.
Long time. The car was actually driven back to service, we understand. He had his overalls down to the waist, the helmet was off, and he was heading in the opposite direction. We saw Ogier on his onboard heading into the stage. Rovanperä was heading back.
We will investigate. We've already put a call into the team. We'll try to find out exactly what is going on.
Absolutely. Listen, it'll be on dirtfish.com exactly what's happened with Tänak and with Rovanperä. So a difficult day for Hyundai, David, but you know, the strong point from Hyundai again has been Danny Sordo. He didn't find himself in that fight as he would have hoped to. Remember, he was only about, 9 or 10 seconds off the lead this morning, and he would have hoped to really build maybe a challenge for the win here. That didn't happen, but he's in a solid second place at the end.
He is, and not far away. You know, what is it, 16 seconds at the moment. There's still Porto Foz to come, but everything is possible tomorrow. You know, Sebastian Ogier has put a lot of emphasis on that last day. You know, he talked about saving his tyres for the final day, saved some soft tyres for the final day. So clearly he understands there's a lot of kilometres to come, a lot of mileage to come tomorrow, and a lot can happen. You know, this is not, Elvin is by no means going to be cruising through Sunday.
No, he can't.
You know, it's going to be a big fight on tomorrow.
And let's talk a little bit about Ogier and Evans, because, you know, once again, Ogier and Evans finds himself leading the rally at the end of day 2. And once again, you'd have to say, I don't think, David, we've seen the best of Evans, and this for me is the sign of a proper championship challenger.
Yeah,
you know, it's like in the football analogies, the soccer analogies. You know, when you can score points in football, and you can make wins when you know your team are playing at their best, that's when you win titles. It's the same here, isn't it? Elvin Evans, for me, hasn't fired all season, but he's having the best start to a season he's ever had.
100% agree with you, Colin. I think, you know, it's coming, and it's the self-confidence. You know, he was really strong in Croatia and was pipped at the post, wasn't he, by Sebastian Ogier. That didn't detract from his performance here. He was immediately back on it, and you know, even the language that he's using now, you know, between the events, I was talking to him about the Ogier thing, and he said, you know, he's beatable. I know he's beatable. I've just got to get on and do it. And then this afternoon, you were talking to him about trying to beat Tänak. Yeah. You know, what do? Do you look forward to beat Tänak, or do you look back to defend against Sordo? No. We attack for Tänak. We're here to win the rally, and that kind of confidence, you've got to have the self-confidence to talk the talk, and he's got that. And I think you're right. I think we are building towards seeing the best of him, and
we really are.
And to be in this position, like you say, it's a great place to be. And if he can bring this home tomorrow, potentially, quick mental maths, would he be back at the top of the table?
I think almost certainly. Yeah, he will be actually, because Ogier right now is sitting in third place.
Yeah.
It'll depend what happens obviously tomorrow with the power stage and those positions. Very quick word again for Takamoto Katsuta. You know, he's been fighting tooth and nail. They've been trading positions all day, him and Ogier. That is quite astonishing. And again, we talk about how much Elvin Evans has developed as a driver over the past year or so. For me, Takamoto Katsuta, since he had that big off in Estonia, the massive off in Sardinia, he's learned and he's moved on. And revelation of the year, the driver of the year so far for me.
100%. And again, 100%. There's a lot of 100% for you today, Cole. But
that's unusual. Very unusual.
I do wonder, though, Ogier had a quiet morning this morning. He didn't really get into it this morning. It didn't happen the way he would have wanted it to happen. So maybe he's managed that situation, and he's understood. He's seen the time loss. This afternoon, he's looked after his tyres. He's taken a tyre selection, which essentially is going to work better for him tomorrow. He knows potentially that there is going to be no fight with Taka, is there? You know,
Toyota. Well, I think that's absolutely right. It would be silly. It would be absolutely silly.
Jari-Matti will manage that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jari-Matti Latvala, team principal at Toyota, will manage that position. But I think, you know, as much as we talk about Taka and Sebastian Ogier, we also need to talk again about M Sport, who've done a fantastic job. You know, Gus is fifth. He had those throttle problems late in the day, but really another strong day from them.
Strong day. By the way, folks, don't forget, we have, talking about M Sport David Evans, we have some really quite exclusive and really quite fabulous DirtFish M Sport t-shirts that you can get hold of. Have a look at this link. It should be above my head somewhere. It might be above David's head somewhere as well. Have a look at that link and, well, you know, click on the link and see if you can get hold of one of those exclusive t-shirts. But you're absolutely right, David. Gus Greensmith, saw him in one of those t-shirts last night. He'll be frustrated, but he's still heading towards a great result, as you said here. A great day, I think, for an encouraging day for him. Not a great day, that's too much. It wasn't a great day.
It was an encouraging day, but again, on the onboards where we saw the throttle problem coming, we saw that experience from Chris Patterson. Just calm it down.
What was it he said to
him? He might have said, mind your language.
He said,
and
stay
just stay
calm and mind your language. And he's saying mind your language because he understands that everyone is watching. The world of rallying is watching.
And you know, when it's live, you can't take it back. The other thing that we haven't mentioned enough, Colin, we haven't given enough credit to Danny Sordo and his new co-driver.
You give it a go. Give it a go ahead, David.
But no, Boyarazada.
That's pretty good.
Apologies if that's
pretty
wrong.
Good.
But lovely fella. And just, you know, we've talked endlessly, haven't we, about Thierry Neuville getting used to a new co-driver, la. We haven't really spoken about Sordo.
You know, and that is because Thierry Neuville's situation was quite different. Thierry Neuville was...
Well, no, he's got somebody different sitting next to him talking to him.
No. It was thrust upon him 3 days before Monte Carlo. This has been a relationship that's been 6 months, maybe more in the making.
But still, it's a different voice.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Absolute credit. So there we are, folks. It has been a really good day too here. A long day, David. Your driver of the day?
Ooh... Taka.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
He's just such an enthusiastic, polite, likeable young man doing amazing things out there. I'm going with David Evans. Once again, we're agreeing too much.
Am I your driver of the day? Really?
Well, we had a little drive earlier on. By the way, Faf tomorrow, folks.
Yeah.
The legendary Faf. David and I went through that stage earlier on. If you want to have a look at that video, that is on our YouTube channel. We had a look at Faf and we reminisced about some of the stories of the legendary Faf stage. Well, that one comes tomorrow. I drove through it. Drove okay?
No.
No, okay, I didn't drive okay. Folks, listen, it has been a great day too here at the Rally of Portugal. For all of the information, as it comes out this evening, dirtfish.com is the place. You will get the news on Tänak. You will get the news on Cali Rovanpera. We will hear exactly what was wrong with Gus Greensmith's throttle. We will be in place tomorrow on Faf to bring you the news from there and the final day of Rally de Portugal. Join us then.